Jonathan, apologies for the lateness, sir. Bit of a chaotic day, but how you doing?
Doing great, Mike. You know, I'm the Filipino here. I'm the one who should be late. Why am I on time, Mike? You can't take that away from me. I have to be the late one.
Unless you want to switch shoes, John, and you know how chaotic my life gets, I'm not sure you want that Filipino title right now, I'll tell you.
Yeah, nah. I would definitely not be you. I mean, you know, there are lots of memes about Filipinos being born into hard mode. You just take the cake. For some reason, Mike, your life is just infinitely harder. This is like a roguelike Iron Man mode kind of thing for you, so I'd pass.
Yeah.
I like being relaxed. We're glad to have you here for the most part, I think. And you just made it in time to watch an interesting game. I mean, you look at this draft, Mikey. You've got Sanwoo on the Brood. How do you feel about that? It does look like he's playing off lane, to be fair. But it's a bit of a switcheroo.
I mean, look, if it does turn out to be a position for Brood, I'm gonna... it isn't, clearly. He has queued up the Guardian Greaves, but that would be a little bit weird. John, I don't know how to feel about this draft at all, because I did manage to tune into the... I want to say the middle to the end of the last game. And it's like, you had Treant, Ricky, and Lena on the same team, and you still lost to Outsiders. Like, yeah, I know Outsiders is one of the better teams here in the China Div 2, but you lose with a draft like that, John, and it doesn't really matter what you draft after that. I'm probably not going to have much faith.
Yeah, well, they have such aggression here up top as well. Right, like, it's a safe lane Timbersaw with Lich. This is just an insane lane. You get Frost armor up, XM with the reactive armor up. Heck, he might even be able to pass on that reactive. Just go for the Whirling Death and the chains up. And you can just run anyone down. You've got the damage output. You don't have that much sustain on Meteor, as we've already seen Molasses get shoved away. He is going to go for the pull plays, so he just wants to soak up his levels, which is fair. But this Timbersaw, I think XM's going to have a really good time in just building up and having a free ride. Did see SRF get forced all the way back to base, though, and no TP back. So that's a little bit of room coming up for on the SF. But I know, like, if you think about how Meteor played Game 1, it feels like they've got to shift a lot to get into gear in Game 2 here.
Yeah, certainly so. Like, even with this kind of stranger draft from Outsiders, it just feels like they're a very confident team and they should be able to find a way to make it work. So we are seeing Molasses, he'll go for a bit of a creep pull here. Outside, trying his best to pull the large camp over and be a bit of a nuisance, but it doesn't work out in his favor. Molasses, though, he does have to pull it underneath the tier 1 tower for a moment, so it's not like you're going to be able to really set the equilibrium the way you'd like it anyway. It should still go in the favor of Outsiders after this creep wave is sorted out, but we'll see. For now, at the very least, Outside going to stick around Molasses, make sure he cannot just freely CS this creep wave. Just be as annoying as humanly possible. Of course, bottom lane, TZ in trouble again. Jarman moving in with the Shards and Tag team. Not going to be quite enough to actually secure the kill on the Train Protector, but kind of just sends a message here from Jarman and Ava. You know, it's just not going to be the safest lane either here for the Train SF.
Yeah, and I like that you run NP into the Treant lane. Just very easy to cut down the trees, ensure that TZ can't just walk up and get his right clicks off. And eventually with tag team, you can just run down heroes quite well with the NP on hand. Has to get as much as he can in this lane early on, and he is, to be fair. Again, with that movement out from SRF all the way back to his base with the TP a while ago, he had to walk back into lane. So he had a lot of room for to just get that farm going early on. Oh boy.
Yeah, Marbleu, he ends up going down here top lane, and it's one of the things, like, against the Timber, you kind of already brought this up, but you're with a Lich. He has the Frost Shield. So Timber's basically invincible at this top lane. And it's like, if you try to make a jump in and harass XM without the burst damage, at least without some magic damage like Spawn Spiderlings, there's just no chance of killing him. As long as the Frost Shield goes on him, he is fine.
And another thing as well, Marblue's Courier got sniped a while ago. That did have his Blightstone, which could have made the lane a little bit easier to play. He respawns, his Courier's not up. It has to fly out again with that Blightstone. So you still have more room. Like, the timings just don't line up for the side of Meteor on that top lane. And XM is going to have a pretty fantastic time scaling up. He's up there in CS. To be fair, Meteor is having a great time on that last lane we haven't really talked about. Blessing has just been controlling mid. That is to be expected for the Monkey versus Ember, but he doesn't expect this rotation.
Yeah, I think you spoke a little bit too soon there, John. Blessing will be chased down just a little bit. Outside, he will land the Frost Blast. Needs one more, but does have the mangoes for it if he wants to go for a dive. Looks like Blessing will try to turn around. Outside, just one more will do it. A nice juke out with the Mischief. Outside, still trying, but no, the fog. He's not going to be able to get it. Oh, so unfortunate for Outside. And now Molasses is going to try and punish the Lich for even attempting this rotation, but I don't think Molasses can actually hope for the kill. We'll have to let Outside walk away from this. I suppose at the end, you still got some pretty decent impact from that rotation, because Blessing, he does still have to run back towards the fountain. And this is going to enable some space for Echoes, who was falling behind on the Ember. Meanwhile, top lane, Xiaoma, about to drop. Oh, Snowball is there in time. Shards out as well. They're going to try and trade those. Xiaoma, not really on target with the Shards, is forced to die. He's either want to take the kill on the Train Protector. Overall, not the worst start in the world so far here for Meteor.
Not too bad. They're even getting aggressive onto XM without his Lich around. Drop him in a pretty good chunk of HP. It is still that Timbersaw with level 2 reactive. It's still fairly durable here. And really, this mid lane is the most troubling one for outsiders. With how far behind you are in Echoes, this kind of strong start for the Monkey. We've seen Monkeys do this before. You get Orb Corrosion into Echo Savior, you are set to go. And you can connect. You play with just this sidekick coming out from Molasses. He can enable you to get aggressive. They do eventually find TZ bot. But again,
mid-lane,
with certain
Blessing's in trouble again.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. They get the rotation. Outside, he was just so patient on the right side of that middle lane, waiting underneath his own vision. And, well, sadly for Blessing, he had no vision to speak of in the mid lane, so Outside easily able to walk in and secure. And just nice timing from the Lich as well. Understanding you're at the 6-minute mark, he's going to want to try and contest power runes, and he probably won't have an Obs Ward ready. His bottom lane, Ava's going to get dived, but it looks like they've got the backup ready to go. Outside once again, from the outside, making sure they can not capitalize as Blessing's going to show up with the Boundless. Maybe they can at least find Xiaoma. They should surely, and they will with the last raise MMMM, or rather, will be able to secure the kill. But it just feels like it's costing you too much.
Yeah, it takes a huge response to kind of find that kill. You only find a pause for Tusk. You're getting some room back for Echoes off the back of that movement. He's number 2 in net worth despite the slower start. XM is still here that you really don't have an answer for on this Timber. Level 6 up. Sanwu's not safe here.
Yeah, he's not, John. He's being chased down. XM's got the Soul Ring for mana if he needs it. He won't go for the dive in. In fact, Molasses is going to show up with the sidekick, and they're going to try and make a bit of a play. Ooh. Rebound actually doesn't connect, so XM, he might be able to turn this one around, as he does get disposed of, but he goes for the chains. They are falling extremely low. One more Chakram will do it. They need to run. They haven't got the spells.
Oh my god.
Oh no. And Ava finds it at the bottom lane. In fact, he's even got TZ. Oh, disaster. It's one of the things with the Timber. You run out of spells for a Timber, John. You can't keep chasing.
Yep, and he's solo. You know, he's all alone. If they managed to launch a rebound, it could have been a different story. Could have, would have, should have. As they are TP rotating down bot to punish. Xiaoma could be dead. Anyone else?
I mean, they've got Xiaoma, but this is kind of the trend at the bottom lane. Like, Xiaoma's died all 3 times. Blessing shows up as well, looking for a Boundless, has found the primary target, but they can't get to dispose of. So he's okay to just walk back towards his own tier 1 tower. And my issue with this is, it's always costing you 3 to 4 heroes to find this Tusk kill. And at the end of the day, Xiaoma, we've seen him on this Tusk. He doesn't really care about dying. He's more than happy to tank the gank every single time and just make plays somewhere else after he sees that many rotations. His top lane, XM's again being chased, but he probably just won't die here. Blue has the spawn Spiderlings, will try for it. It won't be enough. XM, he'll just walk away. In the meantime, Blessing's gone down mid lane, and now Molasses has been caught out.
The rune of regeneration.
It's like, well, who do you aim for? You go bot lane, you kill a Tusk. You go top lane, you can't kill the Timber. And mid lane gets left alone, so Blessing just can't survive.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, you had such a strong start for Blessing here as well. We're so ahead in the CS. But since the movement down bot, Echoes is just completely taken over, and they're still looking to play aggressive. They find TZ.
That they do. I mean, TZ is not the biggest kill in the world, but they'll take it. It's a free one. And it is going to go the way of Xiaoma, who could probably honestly use the gold right now. on the Tusk. And it seems like they'll just rotate into the mid-tier 1 tower. Already very low thanks to the harassment of Echoes. And he'll just finish it off. And this is just another fantastic start for Outsiders here in game number 2. And if you're Meteor Gaming, you are kind of between a rock and a hard place right now. Because this draft, it is going to take time to build up.
Oh,
no, to
Blessing.
Ava, but he's got help once again. This time Echo's going to rotate and Blessing's being caught out on the Monkey King. Dive in from Echoes. He has no fear. Shards will land. Blessing still trying to run. Has nowhere to go. Going to try and heal up, but he just can't do it. Not with the Jingu Mastery. Meanwhile, M's also been caught on the SF. He should just go down and probably will, as Echoes does take him out. TZ is still trying, but he has no damage. 3 down bottom lane.
Man.
And this is probably just another bottom tier 1 tower that's about to drop here for the side of Meteor Gaming.
Yeah, there's no defending this one. It's tricky. You don't have any of your teamfight spells up, no overgrowth ready, no Wukong's up yet on Blessing. Not that would be that impactful. At this point, it feels like, man, they got baited in so hard. They really wanted Ava. Echoes just comes in, cleans up, still has that TP point. They were so close to the tower, forcing that move out. And this kind of lead for Outsiders, man. Every lane just going their way. 3-13. I'm trying to think of an angle back for Meteor, and there is an angle. Like, you do have 2 physical cores with a Marcy support. Sidekick can do a lot here. That's assuming if you can get the farm going, though, and there's just no room to sustain both a Monkey and an SF right now.
There certainly is not. And it's the thing with these 2 heroes, like, Monkey King probably arguably doesn't take as much farm as the SF does in this current meta. Because every SF player wants to go the right-click build, and Magic build obviously not very good at the moment. And that kind of makes it so you just need to hit creeps forever. That's exactly what he'll have to do. Is you see Ma Blue kind of doing the exact same thing as the Broodmother, currently being watched by Xiaoma. No help around to try and help the Tusk secure the Broodmother kill. Obviously, he cannot do it himself. Meanwhile, XM has been kind of caught in a bit of an awkward position. May go down, though he's a very tanky boy. He'll get to the chains to the other tree, but it probably won't matter. In fact, never mind. Snowball is there in time. He might heal up through this. Oh, what? He's found the Marcy and XM. Oh, he almost got out. Almost got out of there. You are still going to lose on the SF. And it seems like Echoes might just be able to clean up now, as he's got TZ to boot. They've found Blessing on the Monkey King. Blessing is trying to at least find a Lich for his trouble. And he will get it, but it costs them so much. Way too much.
It's not looking that good for Meteor right now. I mean, they are finding some trades in these fights, but think about the 2 heroes that live from Outsiders. Echoes lives through, Ava lives through. At KR, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. You don't even care too much if you lose XM. And speaking of XM, I'm liking this build he's going for. He's going full Bloodstone. So he just wants to spell life. So think about it. You have so many things to hit. You've got the Spiderlings to leech off of when you do damage onto them. Like, right. XM is actually going to sustain himself really well in the middle of these fights. And for Meteor, they've got to find a way to make these fights work, but they're so far behind now. Like, look at the level difference. Echoes is 10. Blessing's still 8.
He's going to be okay, but he's being watched by Xiaoma. We know this man on the Tusk. He is not afraid to go in where he sees required. Looks like the side of Meteor Gaming, they'll back off for now, realizing it is not very safe around this area. It feels like there's so much space going to this Broodmother as well, right? Like, of all the cores that you want the farm to go on right now, it doesn't feel like you necessarily want it on the Brood. Thing is, he is just doing the natural progression of the Broodmother, which is pushing out the top lane and taking over the dire jungle, but you'd almost prefer the SF or Blessing to be there to just secure that farm. Sure, he'll find a tier 1 tower for this, but Outsiders are going to trade a tier 2. It's really almost messy. And it's just not allowing any farm to go the way of the MK or SF.
Yeah, it's definitely messy. Like, they aren't distributing their gold the way they'd want to. I mean, they're number 1 on San Wu Mar Blue, but and Blessing are so far behind. And now they've got the full Bloodstone out in Outsiders for XM. They can just play with the smoke. They can just go hunting. It is broken by TZ to get a good angle out. And they do have control of their triangle, but they've been confined to that triangle for a very long time. Oh.
Jump in, Blessing always the target. Shards on target as well. Blessing the balance, it just connected on nothing. He just kind of whiffed it. Zhama. Oh, he's going to walk out of there. The Frostblast is flying right through TZ. Will mean he gets slowed down and does melt. And XM, he can just keep going. Can they get the chains? Oh, you bet your Nelly they can. They've gotten down. This is it. Yeah,
okay.
GG.
This is the fastest game now.
I agree.
This is the fastest game. This is
the fastest
yesterday.
Game.
Yeah, the last match Meteor had was 15-31.